Hi, I'm Dr. Patrick Jones, and this is the podcast Beyond the Feature, the podcast where we turn technology budgets and business value by fixing workflows, not collecting features from various apps. Last time, I shared a deceptively simple idea. Behavior lives where work happens. If you teach in the same place, the work gets done, new habits stick. Today, we're adding another layer that explains a lot of workplace pain in one sentence. Defaults are destiny. People don't choose from scratch. Under pressure, we take the path of least resistance. At work, that path is whatever your system or your culture presents as the default. If the calendar opens to 60 minutes, you'll get 60-minute meetings. If the default link is anyone with the link can edit, you'll get mystery editors and version chaos. Flip the default, and like magic, you flip the behavior. Let me show you how this works in real life without turning this into a how-to class. So imagine you're scheduling a catch-up with your team lead. Version A of your day, the calendar pops open at 60 minutes because that's what it always does. It feels harmless, so you leave it. There's no agenda because who has time? You wander for the first 20 minutes, get to the point in minute 42, and push the decision to email because you ran out of time. But version B, the calendar default is 25 minutes. When you drop the invite on a channel, a tiny agenda snippet appears automatically, 3 bullet prompts. You get to the point in minute 7, the decision goes in a doc, and you end with a clear who, what, when. Same people, same goals, same tools. A different default created a different day. Here's the larger truth. We spend way too much energy trying to change people when we could change the path. So change the default, not the person. Now, some defaults are literal settings. You can change meeting length. You can choose a link behavior. You can start from a template. But the most powerful defaults are cultural, the things everyone expects by default. We use shared links, not attachments. We decide in the document. One place, one version. Those phrases aren't posters. They're pre-decisions. They make dozens of tiny choices automatic. Features support the pre-decision. Templates make it visible. Link settings make it easy. Labels make it safe. But the behavior change starts with the default expectation. That's why my Microsoft 365 Companion Series books are intentionally short, and why the Olympus Academy courses and my quick YouTube clips focus on one move at a time. They plug into a default you've already decided, not the other way around. There's a well-researched thing called the default effect. If you make organ donation opt-in, participation is low. If you make it opt-out, participation skyrockets. Same people, different default. At work, your brain is doing the same math 100 times a day. What's the easiest way to get this done? Whatever is one click closer tends to win. So let's make the right way one click closer. Think of workflow like a river. You can shout at the water to go left, or you can carve the riverbed. Defaults carve the riverbed. But shouldn't people just be disciplined? I hear this a lot from very capable and very tired managers. Discipline is great. It's also a scarce resource. You want your team saving discipline for the hard calls, strategy, customers, risks, not spending it on chores like remember to add an agenda or remember to record the decision. A smart default doesn't remove responsibility. It rescues it for the moments that matter. And there's another worry. If we change defaults, we'll confuse everyone. Well, you'll confuse them more by leaving old defaults in place and asking for a new behavior. Call the change, label it clearly, give the why, and then let the system support the people. In a week, the new default becomes the new normal. There are 3 default areas that reshape work without drama. The first is place. Where does work live by default? If the answer is email, you've built a default that scatters that context. If the answer is our team space, this channel, or this library, you've built home field advantage. People stop asking for the link because they already know where the work lives. Second one is time. How long by default? I'm not anti-long meeting. I'm anti-ambient hour. Shorter by default forces clarity. You can always add time when you need it. You rarely reclaim time you never should have scheduled. And the third is decision. Where does the decision go by default? If the answer is somewhere in chat, you're signing up for an archaeology expedition later. If the answer is at the top of the document or in the meeting notes, future you and future teammates can actually find it. Notice what I didn't say. I didn't say learn every feature in the suite. You'll pick up the features you need in service of the defaults you've chosen. And if you need a quick refresher, how to insert a simple agenda snippet, how to set a link the right way, well, that's what the companion series or the Olympus Academy lessons or even those YouTube quick hits are for. They're ingredients you grab as you cook. So here's a tiny story about attachments. We've all lived this one. A director once told me, "We train everyone on collaboration and still have 10 versions of the same file." I asked one question. What's your default? He said, "We tell people to decide based on the situation." Translation, no default. So the situation always wins, and the situation is usually, I'm in a hurry, I'll attach it. They flipped the default to a single sentence. Links, not attachments. They added one visible support. The team description in their space started with, "Files live here." That's it. No more shaming, no more long trainings. Within a month, duplicate files dropped and can't access pings faded. They still attach sometimes? Sure. But now it was a true exception, not the habit. So what does it really feel like when those defaults click? Well, you'll notice a few human signs. People start their work in the right space without being asked. Meetings end with visible decisions, more often than not. New hires copy the pattern without a tour because the pattern is obvious. And your support tickets get quieter, not because the technology changed, but because the path did. I like to say you don't need heroics, you need railings. Defaults are the railings. Now, if you're technical, here you go. You might be thinking, Patrick, tell me the switch to flip. I promise I will not turn this into a product tour, but when you set a cultural default, there's usually a small technical support that makes it real. A template, a link behavior, a label, a short description at the top of a team space that says start here. If you want the 2-minute how, I've got the companion series book series, the Olympus Academy lessons, and even YouTube clips for that. Grab them as you need them, but don't start there. Start with the sentence, then fetch the verbs. Now here's a quick experiment you can run today. Pick one default to flip for the next week, just one. Maybe it's time. 25 minutes is the new default for internal meetings. Maybe it's place. Documents start in the team space, not on the desktop. Maybe it's decision. The first line of a shared doc is decision, and you fill it before the call ends. Now imagine your week through that lens. What disappears? Long meanders, duplicate files. Who can't open this? What appears? Shorter cycles, clearer outcomes, fewer interruptions. That's the return on flipping one default. No pep talk required. So the best defaults fit in your mouth. Try saying these out loud on your team. One place, one version. Links, not attachments. Default short, decide fast. Decide in the document. They're not slogans. They're shortcuts for your brain. You'll be surprised how often a 5-word phrase beats a 5-page policy. Defaults are destiny because they quietly redraw the map of your work that your work follows. Change the map, and people don't need willpower to take a better route. They'll just take it. That's how your Microsoft 365 investment stops being a collection of features and starts being a set of outcomes. Time back, fewer mistakes, decisions you can actually find. Now, next time, we're going to look at the companion idea. Rituals beat reminders. The tiny repeatable cues that keep workflows on track, and the quiet features that support those rituals without stealing the spotlight. Until then, keep this in mind. Features are ingredients, workflows are the recipe, and defaults are the pan they cook in. If you want the quick how, we have the Microsoft 365 Companion Series out on Amazon or the Olympus Academy courses, and you can even use the YouTube clips. They're there when you need them. But start with the default. The rest gets easier. Now make sure you like and follow this podcast and share it if you think it'll be of value. Until then, we will see you next time.